Usually in my videos I always have an intro and do my usual grading, but you know what? No. I can't. I just can't. I don't feel like doing it today because, well, Toriko episode 147 is out, and fuck it. That's that's all I can say at this point. It's just fuck it. I mean, after what happened to one of my favorite fights in Toriko versus Starjun, after how they ruined it near the end, I mentally prepared myself, or at least tried to, for the episodes to come, which will lead to the anime only ending. And I tried to keep an open mind here, but episode after episode made me go, no, no, betrayal, betrayal. Last week's episode. Okay, what the fuck is up with the censorship? I mean, in one episode, there'd be blood showing, but in like the next episode or even the next scene, scratches and stab wounds, they start glowing like their blood is made out of Skittles. What the hell, Toei Animation? Make up your freaking minds. Are you gonna censor it or not? And if you're gonna censor it, at least make it look like actual bruises or scratches or something like you did in the earlier episodes. Ichiria versus Midora. It was one of the fights that I actually tolerated and kinda enjoyed in some parts. I mean, I thought the flashbacks were at least decent and there was some great emotion there. But they freaking skipped Minority World! Minority World! Why? And then Toriko near the end. He pulled a Super Saiyan level 4. I'm not kidding. This is exactly how Goku obtained Super Saiyan level 4 in Dragon Ball GT. This is what it totally reminds me of. So yeah, that's basically some of the bad points of what happened in the previous episode. Now let's get on to episode 147. Toriko and Komatsu embark on a new voyage. First off, the final opening in the episode, for some reason, there was sound effects during the opening theme. Why? Because the opening theme was fine without the sound effects. What's the point of that? Alright, so at the beginning of the episode, Joa goes through another transformation, and oh sweet Jesus, I'm so confused of whether to call Joa he or she now. So I'm just gonna call Joa an it. I mean, dear God. Joa looks like a mutated female gremlin from the movie Gremlins. That or a dual monsters from Yu-Gi-Oh! So their fight begins and Joa is pushing Toriko back. But those attacks don't even phase Toriko, and he manages to punch Joa's knife away from his hand, and then he punches Joa again, and then this golden energy comes out from the punch, and it looks like the devil python? Apparently, whenever Toriko attacks, ingredients from the past that he has eaten would always appear. There was the Gala Gator, the Regal Mammoth, and the frickin' Four Beast. So after taking those hits from Toriko, Joa uses a technique called God Cooking Absolute Heart Life Slice. Toriko gives thanks to the world's bounty that life has provided for him, and every single ingredient, not just beasts, but other ingredients that Toriko has eaten in his life appear right behind him. After he says, "Itadakimasu," all the ingredients turn into this golden light energy and enter into Toriko's body, concentrating on his arm to create a technique called the Mugen Kugi Punch, the infinite nail punch, which blocks the attack and punches Joa right between the boobs. I'm totally not kidding, he punched Joa right between the boobs. Joa then gets hit by an onslaught of Kugi punches, which looks friggin' awesome. I'm not gonna lie, it kinda does, I'm sorry, it just looks pretty cool. But I don't think the writers know the definition of infinite, because infinite is an unlimited amount. It has no limit. So Mugen Kugi Punch should hit Joa multiple times for all eternity, but it doesn't. So I don't think they should have called it a Mugen Kugi Punch. To me, it looked like a couple hundred Kugi Punch or something. I don't know. And yet, despite all that, it still doesn't make sense that Toriko can beat Joa like that. Joa ate Akacia's full course menu. Toriko hasn't. And Toriko shouldn't have even awakened his gourmet cells yet. I mean, his appetite devil told him in order to fully control him, he has to eat a certain course, referring to Akacia's full course. So that doesn't make a lot of sense, but it looked kind of cool and whoa, God. So after Toriko defeated Joa, the Cinderella Knife, and all the members of Neo retreat because of the Tokage or something. Toriko returns back to normal. Komatsu approaches to Toriko while tearing up and yelling out, "Toriko-san, thank goodness!" And they're holding hands. Oh God, if George saw this, he's totally gonna make a gay joke about it. But their moment is ruined when they notice something up in the sky, and it turns out to be the meteor spice. Back in Rogue Island, it kinda goes like in the manga, except we cut back to the cooking fest, and then all of a sudden the first Toriko opening theme plays. Then Coco, Sunny, and Zebra get up. I guess they're okay now, and the four Heavenly Kings use their techniques to block the meteor spice. Toriko with a fork shield, Coco with a poison shield. Apparently he can use that. Okay, why didn't he use that against Grimpatch? I don't freaking know. Sunny with a super Frygashi and Zebra with a Otokabe. That was like the only animation you get to see in that montage. The rest are just still frames. You get pictures of Ricky and the giraffe birds. You even get to see Terry, Quinn, and Kiss catching meteor spices from their mouths. Setsuno using her steam pressure cooking to block the meteor spice, as well as Master Jiro with his Guinness punch. And then all of a sudden, near the end of the friggin' montage, you have like the four Heavenly Kings doing like these poses, not JoJo poses, no, just I don't know, like poses to make them look awesome or something. I don't fucking know what's going on. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing, but I just what the hell? Anyway, Star June gets up and is about to leave, but Komatsu stops him, asking him to give Utake a message. And that message is, in the next cooking fest, he wants to fight fair and square with Utake and Ume. Star June tells Komatsu that he should go to Gourmet World and tell Utake the message himself. He then tells Toriko that he'll be waiting for him, and he leaves, and Toriko then says, yeah, we'll finish our fight in Gourmet World. So Toriko and Star June are rivals now? Since when did that happen? I know they had to put aside their differences to fight against Joa, but really? Okay. Now, what is actually canon is Mansan in the infirmary, except Toriko, Rin, Setsuno, and Master Jiro and Yoon are there, while Komatsu is in the kitchen cooking. Suddenly, Midor materializes into the room carrying Ichiryu in his arms. Yeah, Ichiryu is alive in the anime. In the manga, he's dead. I can't be happy that Ichiru's alive because this is not canon. This is not canon. And you know what this means? No blue nitros. No blue nitros. Not only that, but the Bishokukai members revealed to be members of Neo. That plot point was skipped. So Midora hands Ichiryu over to Toriko and is about to leave, but Master Jiro stops him and asks him if he wants to have a meal with them. Komatsu comes in with this soup that he made, and Midora sits down and has a meal with everybody. I really wish I'm making this up, but I'm not. I mean, I know it's Midora, but this is the leader of the Bishokukai, not to mention the guy that used meteor spice on the human world. I'm just saying. But I will admit, the scene when Midora has a flashback of when he was a child and sitting on the table eating with Akasia, Froze, Setsuno, Jiro, and Ichiryu, that was really nice. Which, by the way, that flashback was triggered by Komatsu's soup. And after having the meal, he decides to head to Gourmet World because he can't ignore Neo. But before he leaves, he tells Komatsu that his soup was really good, and I guess Midora is good now. The leader of Bishokukai is good now. Okay. Granted, I couldn't wrap myself around this, but I did like the emotion towards it, so I'll give kudos to the episode for that. However, I won't give kudos to the episode for making the meteor spice look lame. You know, meteor spice in the manga drove the human world to the brink of starvation, where food was so scarce that IGO had to resort to making food pills so that the human race can survive on nutritional value alone, and that went on for a year and a half. In the anime, 3 months have passed, Bishokia are already gathering ingredients, the chefs make food for the people, and construction is in progress for repairing the buildings. You gotta be freaking kidding me. I know that the anime is trying to leave off on a more positive note, but this is freaking meteor spice! Meteor spice! Midora's attack that supposedly ended the Gourmet Age in the manga. This was an attack that supposedly caused serious damage in the human world, where thousands of people supposedly died. And in the anime, they treat it off as just a mere natural disaster, with no casualties or any backlash whatsoever inflicted upon the human world. Fuck it, I gotta stop being mad over everything. Meanwhile, Toriko and Komatsu are heading towards Gourmet World when Toriko tells Komatsu that Joa is alive. We cut to the Neo headquarters and Joa seems to be okay after taking that Mugen Kugi punch. And we only get brief appearances of the current members of Neo, including the Bishoku Kai members who were in the Gourmet World. In the anime, their appearances were just a split second. In fact, the entire Neo group only had 20 to 30 seconds in this. And no, we didn't get to see the special project that JoJo was working on in Neo. It was so much better in the manga. As for Coco, Sunny, and Zebra, they have already split off and headed to Gourmet World. So now that everybody's going to Gourmet World, you know what this means? No Ichiri's full course menu. No Billion Bird. No Billion Bird egg. No drink for Toriko's full course menu. And no Chi-Chi. I'm trying really hard not to yell anymore, but you know how difficult it is when important parts of the manga gets changed. Oh, also Grimpatch is okay. How the hell did he get out of that hole? I don't fucking know. And apparently the four Heavenly Kings and Komatsu are wearing the same outfits from the Toriko movie. Just putting it out there. So now that Toriko and Komatsu are in Gourmet World, you'd expect that we'd see the Breath Dragon, the Wind Grizzly, the Fortress Rhino, that giant, that ogre thing which I forgot its name that was supposedly taller than volcanoes the size of Mount Fuji, the Ficus Dalton Fant, the Ostrosaurus, and even the freaking Battle Wolf. Yeah, no, we don't get to see any of that. Instead, we get to see the same three-faced tiger and gorilla fighting each other, and Toriko just stares at them to make them stop, which, okay, that kind of looks pretty cool, but yeah, I was expecting the creatures, especially the Breath Dragon and maybe the friggin' Battle Wolf in Gourmet World that we get to see in the anime, but no, that didn't happen. Keep calm, keep calm. Anyway, after Toriko and Komatsu leave the forest, they enter this vast field in Gourmet World and they start running. All the while, the narrator, the guy that always says someone once said at the beginning of almost every episode, starts to narrate about Toriko and Komatsu and saying, this world is in the gourmet age, an age in which people quest for yet unknown culinary delights. Then the scene fades to white and we get Toriko, the human world arc, the end. And that is it from the episode. So yeah, that is the final episode of the Toriko anime. What did I think? It could have been worse. I mean, I know the anime-only watchers will get a kick out of this, but those of us who've read the manga will be incredibly disappointed as always. I know I was, but there were parts of the episode which I kinda liked. I mean, I did like Midora's flashback, and the Mugen Kugi Punch did look pretty cool, and I'll admit the Joa versus Toriko fight was animated pretty well, but so much has changed from the canon material in this anime episode. I know Toei Animation is going for this anime only ending, but it kind of left off in a more positive note, which is nothing wrong with that. It's just this changes everything that was in the manga, and I can't forgive Toei for that. Also, at the end, it said Toriko, the Human World arc, the end. Does this mean that Toriko is going to come back eventually to do the Gourmet World arc? How are they gonna do that? They changed so much. How is that gonna be possible? I really want to hate this episode, but there are episodes in Toriko that are way worse than this, honestly. And I am still upset with some of the things that have been changed in the episode, but I just can't get angry anymore. Oh, don't get me wrong. I am pissed that Toei Animation ruined one of my favorite arcs in Toriko. I really am. But since this is the final episode, I just can't give a fuck anymore. I'm just relieved that this anime is done. That it's over. To me, the Toriko anime had potential to be really good, and the beginning arc started off pretty well. It was pretty well in the anime, once you tolerate the censorship, but it was still enjoyable nonetheless. But then when they got to the cooking fest, no, more like the Bishokukai invasion, I'd say after the Elg versus Branchi fight, that is where things started to take a toll for the worst. And you know what? It's such a shame because this anime had so much potential to be really good. And for that, I am glad that it is done and over. For anybody who wants to get into Toriko, skip the anime and read the manga, because the manga is way better. So that's all I gotta say about the final episode of Toriko, and I apologize for not being as angry as I should be over this, but I just can't anymore because I'm mostly relieved that it's done. I am angry of the things that they have changed, but I just can't rage anymore. As far as I'm concerned, this is gonna take a huge toll on me if I keep on raging. So if you have any thoughts of the Toriko episode or the anime in general, let me know in the comments below, and be sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel, and to check out my Facebook fan page and Google+. The final episode of Toriko, it's over. Thank God. And Toei Animation, screw you for ruining the Cooking Fest arc. I hate you for that. But I'm fucking done with Toei right now. I'm fucking done with the anime. It's over. I'm done. So, yeah. Bye, guys.